I am literally appalled by the ease and calculated indifference with which many leaders in the European Union regard the senseless killing of Ukrainians and Russians, Slavic peoples who are close to us. Dear friends, at the start of a new year, I don't usually make resolutions. I belong to those who, if they wish to do something or begin a new endeavor, do not wait for the 1st of January. However, I am the Prime Minister of the Slovak Republic, and I have a responsibility to address the question of how I intend to respond to the absurd escalation of societal tension, which represents a political counterpoint to the endeavors of our current governing coalition. My dear Slovak women, my dear Slovak men, and all esteemed friends, I wish you a truly happy new year for 2026, but also to our whole beloved nation of Slovakia. To the honoree, and today we celebrate the 33rd anniversary of our independent nation's birth, and the Christ years are certainly a reason for a serious remembrance of this event, so significant for all Slovaks. From Slovakia, I send greetings to the entire world. The Kremnica Mines and the Church of St. John the Baptist are most frequently acknowledged as the true geographical heart of Europe, and therefore, in the spirit of my foreign policy, extending to all four cardinal directions. I wish only the very best to everyone. To those in the West, in English, we say Happy New Year. To those in the South, in Italian, Buon anno. To those in the North, in Swedish, Gott nytt år. And to those in the East, in Russian, S novim godom. Dear friends, I have always made it a point to avoid empty words, meaningless phrases, hypocrisy, or any form of self-deception. And even this morning, on the very first day of January in the year 2026, I intend to speak to you with complete candor. The year 2026 is an election year, and it will certainly reflect that reality. Even more distinctly than before, the differences will be visible between those who stand for peace, a sovereign Slovakia, traditional values, a strong welfare state, and freedom of speech, and those who want our beloved Slovakia merely as a small, obedient, and nationally and culturally unidentifiable, insignificant dot entirely subservient to transnational interests. The difference in the view of Slovak reality will continue to deepen. No, not everything in Slovakia is perfect, that's true, but objectively we must acknowledge the successes and the confident decisions made. I reject the political culture of self-flagellation and creating an image of Slovakia as a black scorched earth. We all know that this image is completely false and serves only narrow-minded political goals. In 2026, we will also witness a further escalation of tension by attempts to move the political struggle to the streets. I promise you that if I'm, as the Prime Minister of the Slovak Republic and as the chairman of the political party Smer Slovak Social Democracy were to call the public together, it would only be for us to greet each other. And together they sang, for example, on March 8th during International Women's Day celebrations, on May 1st celebrating labor and entry into the European Union, on May 8th calling for peace, on July 5th welcoming the legacy of Saints Cyril and Methodius, on August 29th paying deep tribute to the heroes of the Slovak national uprising, or on October 6th at Dukla, rejecting war. My dear Slovak women and men, I especially implore each and every one of you to collectively raise our voices for peace and do absolutely everything for the peaceful coexistence of all nations. Peace is not merely an empty, profane word. In thus contemporary times, peace must truly be the fundamental basis of all our endeavors, of our very being. For as a truly wise individual once profoundly stated, peace is not everything, but without peace, everything is absolutely nothing. That's the idea of this. I am literally appalled by the ease and calculated indifference with which many leaders in the European Union regard the senseless killing of Ukrainians and Russians, Slavic peoples who are close to us. Dear friends, at the start of a new year, I don't usually make resolutions. I belong to those who, if they wish to do something or begin a new endeavor, do not wait for the 1st of January. However, I am the Prime Minister of the Slovak Republic, and I have a responsibility to address the question of how I intend to respond to the absurd escalation of societal tension, which represents a political counterpoint to the endeavors of our current governing coalition. I have always believed that democracy is a competition of the best for the best ideas. A competition where the objective judges are the voters themselves in free democratic elections. I call for such a competition in the year 2026. I call for the respect of freedom of expression for differing opinions. I demand that the dehumanizing attacks cease against those citizens of our homeland who align themselves with the current government. Shortly after the assassination attempt, several journalists asked me how I would contribute to calming the situation. These were cynical questions, but sadly, also a confirmation of the state we're in. I publicly declare that I am an absolute opponent of any vendetta for what was done to us between the years 2020 and 2023, when representatives of the then opposition, that is us, were unlawfully accused and sent to custody while people were senselessly dying. All of this was done simply to eliminate us as political opponents. I am against injustice being rectified by further illegalities. Justice is slow when it's done according to the law, but patience has always brought us red roses. On the other hand, I can understand that our supporters would want to pay back the main actors from the years 20 to 23 with interest. So what exactly is my answer to that question? It's been hard work, something I've never shied away from or found disagreeable. Even during the final 2 weeks of the previous year, I made a conscious effort to establish a positive working atmosphere, despite the opposition and the media providing me with a full array of opportunities where I could have completely lost my temper and reacted explosively. Strong peace positions and Slovakia's refusal to take part in the war loan to Ukraine, Vysalomatiu Naesaropunte, the official opening of the Vishnove tunnel, a visit with the employees of the Bratislava Public Transport Company. This is precisely what I intend to offer as a direct response to the escalating tension. In this new year, I will lead 13 mobile government sessions covering 30 districts. The Agency for State-Supported Rental Housing and the State Housing Development Fund can expect my frequent visits and the pressure I will exert on their representatives to improve housing availability. I will regularly conduct inspection days for huge transport projects and for hospitals under construction. I believe that in March we will jointly open the Dužumberk bypass. In domestic government policy, it will be about finding resources to support economic growth, and in foreign policy, a multitude of activities and meetings at the highest level for the purpose of economic cooperation. And above all, I won't get dragged into political squabbles, but where serious matters concerning Slovakia and Slovak national interests are involved, I will be politically uncompromising. Dear Slovaks, esteemed friends, at the beginning of the year, it's customary to wish for many things. I explicitly wish you, above all, good health. This is not a mere formal wish, because I know very well what I'm talking about. We are a proud, peaceful, hospitable, and hardworking nation, but one that also knows how to dig in its heels. I have always proudly identified with such a nation. I have always felt myself to be a part of such a nation. I am proud to be a Slovak. Long live the Slovak Republic. May we all prosper. A beautiful 1st of January 2026.